Let's talk about roasting a chicken today. It's something that a lot of people do find a little bit intimidating and find it a little bit hard, but I'm gonna walk you through it step by step today, and hopefully by the end of this it will just seem like 1, 2, 3, easy and done. So first things first, what you want to do is make sure that your chicken is defrosted. Take it out of the freezer, get it into that refrigerator, let it completely defrost. This might take probably a day or two depending on your size of your chicken. If your chicken's already defrosted, something that I like to do is actually take it out of the refrigerator for maybe 30-60 minutes and let it kind of come up to room temperature. The reason you want your chicken to come up in temp a little bit is because it will actually cut down on your cooking time. So if you put it in the oven straight out of the refrigerator, the heat in the oven is actually going to have to work a little harder to raise that chicken up to temperature first before starting to cook it. Whereas if the chicken's already, closer to a room temperature, the heat in the oven is going to go straight into cooking it, getting crispy, all that good stuff. I do recommend not leaving the chicken out at room temperature for longer than an hour, just because we kind of want to avoid, time and temperature abuse, something I'm going to talk about later on. Something that you can do while your chicken is coming up into temperature a little bit and sitting down, mine's sitting right here next to me, is we want to preheat our oven. I usually start at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And while that's preheating, I'm actually going to get our Mirepoix ready. So it's a rough chop of onions, celery, and carrots, and that's going to be our base for our roast. If you want a little bit more information about basics of roasting, I have a separate video. It's going to be linked down below, and that's actually going to explain what in the world's going on with our setup here today. Okay, so our chicken is less cold. It's been sitting out on the counter for about 30 minutes. So when you get a roast chicken, it's going to come with its giblets and things all nicely packaged on the inside. And so we have the neck here, we have the liver, we have the heart. A lot of people do throw these away. I personally do like to eat them. So it comes down to personal preference whether or not you want to kind of throw these in the pan later for yourself and kind of do like a little egg scramble with them or something. They're really good sources of protein. But for now, let's set these aside. So the thing about roasting a whole chicken is that there's a whole ton of liquid inside that we're going to want to get rid of. So next thing we want to do is pat this chicken dry. So what that's going to do is remove all the moisture that's sitting on top of the skin, and that will help get your skin nice and crispy when it's in the oven. So fun tip. So really what I want to do is kind of take a paper towel and go through every inch of this guy. I already have a lot of liquid pooling on my cutting board, so I'm just actually going to dump that out. Switch to a drier side. I'm going to continue patting this chicken dry. And I'll paper towel. Alright. Alright, so our chicken has been patted dry, and this is actually something that you want to do for most meats. It will really help with the caramelization process. Next, we're going to want to season. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to keep it to a basic salt and pepper. But if you have a marinade, or if there's a particular spice mix that you like, this is when you would go ahead and use it. So I'm going to do salt and pepper, and I always keep my salt and pepper separate, just because you never know what you're going to need more of. Sometimes you'll need a little bit more salt, sometimes you want a little bit more pepper, and some chefs recommend mixing it in together, but I find it very hard to kind of manage seasoning when they're all incorporated together. So starting with salt, we're just going to get a little bit of a handful and then just kind of start rubbing it in. And the key with this is you just kind of want to get all the nooks and crannies, just to make sure that every little bit of it is completely seasoned. Okay, so that's our salt. And that's our pepper. And then the other thing also is that we want to make sure that we season it on the inside as well. So don't be afraid, we're going to go right into the cavity here, and then this is also where you would put some of your stuffing, some of your herbs, some of your larger seasoning items if you would choose to do that. So just a generous amount. Salt and pepper, that's going to go in there. All right, and that is our seasoning. So those were the first basic steps of how to prep a chicken for roasting. In my next video, I'm going to talk about trussing a chicken to make it uniform in shape and size so it cooks evenly.